need to get one of those, the ones that goes down the front.
No, it goes all the way, Sid. It goes all the way from the edge of there, all the way to the end.
No, there's a wall behind the wall. You see it? It's wider.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is a, oh, it's like an outhouse. Let's see. It is an outhouse. Look, it even has holes in the wall and a toilet. No seat, though. There's no seat. Ooh, that wouldn't work for you, huh? Yeah. Looks like they're... Yeah, it looks like they're cutting and making, although it's just the front, Sid. Look, they've gone back to block. Huh.
Oh, yeah.
So they're just doing...
That's what I was saying about our house. We could have the front just shingled.
No.
And
No. No.
No?
That looks silly. Huh. Okay. Well, it's gonna be nice.
Just know that it's been cooked.
Twice.
Twice.
So, today's been one of those days. Started out like really fast, you know, 4:30 this morning. I got a really good email, blah, blah, blah. Everything was going well, and then it's been like this. So it went. So we've been sitting around waiting for answers all day. And nothing's been happening, but that's how that goes. So while in my waiting around, I was doing some reading and stuff like that, and there was, one of the articles said 20 states, so remember there's what, 50? 20 states are getting their minimum wage, not all at once, but in steps, up to $15 an hour. And some of these states are, you know, pretty much already there. And what's happening is, it's putting, instead of being a benefit for people, it's actually detrimental, of course, because when, like, you know, a little coffee shop or a little whatever business it is has to start paying $15 an hour, there's only two options. You either have to make more money, three options: make more money, charge higher prices, or go out of business. And so if they go out of business, then there's more people that, you know, don't have jobs, not that they're doing better. And you know, the funny thing of this is, when I was in college, I think it was 1979 that year, I worked part-time delivering sheetrock in the afternoons and certain days. And I was making, remember, 1979, I was making $10.32 an hour back then. And I'll grant you, I'll put that in because it was good money for back then even. I was part of the Teamsters. And, but still, at $10.32 an hour back then, as a part-time job, even as part of the Teamsters, it was really good money. I mean, I had plenty of money to do whatever I wanted with whenever I wanted. It wasn't an issue. But we haven't kept up with, the general wages versus cost things. And I think, and I had mentioned this, I think, a few years back, that I thought something like this would happen. And it was that what's going to happen is, those little businesses like that who can't afford to, take the labor cost, workman's comp, all these other fees that are going to go into it, because if they raise their prices, they'll have to go out of business anyway because they won't have any customers. So what'll end up happening is that it's going to create, if this hits everywhere, then the bigger companies who can, and they already are, will start to automate. And because a machine doesn't call in sick, the robot doesn't have any feelings, it doesn't need workers' comp, because if it gets hurt, then somebody refixes it. It doesn't need vacation pay. It doesn't need health insurance. And when all of that happens, then there's fewer and fewer people who actually have jobs. Because now, say there was a certain workforce, and that workforce can be eliminated because I can have X number of robots or whatever it is doing the same job at a different cost. So the only scenario I can see that comes out is that, right now, if you're a company in the US, you've got your health insurances, you've got your a whole slew of taxes and other fees that you have to tack on for that employee. And if that scenario comes where companies start getting rid of employees in favor of technology options, then you'll see that eventually it'll get to a point, because we'll have so many people that are not employed, that it'll get to a point where we have to do something, because you've got all these people, no jobs, no money, no way to make any money. So what are you going to do with them? And the only option I can see is that, these companies are, if you go fully automated and you don't have employees, you're going to have a different tax rate. Now, given the political world and all that kind of stuff, I don't know how that's going to work, but this is the only one I can see. Those companies are going to have to pay a much higher tax rate, because that tax that they'll be putting out will then go to supporting those people who no longer have jobs. How it's all going to work, I don't know. Whether there'll be like you'll get a minimum monthly thing, and I really don't know all the details of it. But if it's already 20 states working on it and coming up, I mean, and when you think about it, $15 an hour. If you work a 40-hour week, 15 times 40 is 600. By the time the government takes out their stuff, you're probably, what, 450? I mean, I don't honestly know, but if you're at 450, so you're looking at, what, 1,800 a month. So if you've got an apartment, a car, food, blah, 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 you're still pretty darn close. You gotta still be pretty darn frugal. You could make it, but and then of course that's going to depend on where you live, of course. So that's what I see, and I don't see any other option that's going to happen other than businesses, like take the coffee shop. The coffee shop says, okay, I got to pay these people minimum $15 an hour. I got to provide health insurance. I've got this, that, the other thing. So now your cup of coffee is $10. That's going to be a hard sell. I mean, I say $10. I just pulled that out of the air. But the price would go up, and I don't think it's going to work. So there's got to be another solution that people are working on. I mean, I think it's Finland. Finland's working on every citizen gets, you know, and of course we're not talking the same size or anything, gets $1,000 a month, and then they can choose to not work, or they can choose to also work and make even more than that. But there's got to be some kind of solution.
Bank of America just upped their minimum wage to 20.
Well, Costco, I think, is also $20 an hour. Sid just said Bank of America up theirs to 20. So if companies do and the amounts go up, you know, I don't know what will happen. But if technology starts to replace all of these jobs, which, you know, if you've been to any cities, you'll see that there's already moves towards that realm where you'll go to Mickey D's in the city or something, and you press your option and some guy in the back room and bing, your order pops out. So you can get rid of elements of customer service which you're not going to have to pay for anymore. A lot of coffee shops, you know, Starbucks won't, but I mean, I think there's going to be a lot more streamlining of the process. I mean, and I can't think of it, I wish I could. There's a multi-billion-dollar business that very few people know about that's happening, and it's in the food industry, where and this is sort of the middle line food industry, where a big company will like make whatever meals you want and have whatever foods you want prepared. So you'll just have to plan ahead, and you'll say, okay, Thursdays we usually sell 50 spaghetti dinners and so many of this and so many of that, and Wednesday we usually sell, and you'll just order from them. They'll bring it in. You won't need the whole kitchen staff. All you need to do is heat that up and have somebody who can bring it out, and here you go. And that, like I said, that's very little known about, but it does exist already. And I think that will be another one, because then you'll get rid of a whole bunch of people that won't have to be preparing the food. All you'll need is somebody to warm it and somebody to bring it out. Could actually be the same person. So, you know, the world's changing, and that $15 an hour thing, I think, is just one of the things that's going to happen. And my prediction is technology is going to replace a lot of these things. Technology, automation, etc. Because robots don't get sick. They don't need vacation. They don't call in sick. They don't even need to get paid. We'll see, I guess.